Cool. Let's start with just walk us through the goal that ends up deciding the match.
We obviously had a bunch of good chances in the first half and some in the second half too, but this chance we finally finished was one of the ones that is more difficult because you have previous chances, you didn't put them away, so you just gotta find that place in your head and just calm down, place it, and we were able to do that.
One of those games where you guys are favored coming into it, and Clayton State made you all work for it, especially in the very early going, and then you took control but couldn't find the breakthrough. Just the emotional roller coaster of a game like this for you.
For me personally, I think I'm good at not letting that affect me. I try to stay calm because I know if I get too riled up about not scoring or running the table like we were, then it'll affect my game. And so I try to just stay calm. I think the team responds better when most of us are calm. So that's just the main factor that I think about when things are getting a little chippy.
You've seen the Peach Belt over the years grow and get, I think, more and more competitive. It feels like it's not as easy for anyone to kind of run through the table as you guys are doing so far. How have you seen the conference grow in terms of quality and in terms of depth?
It's just like this year, especially, we've seen teams that haven't won games against the top teams previous years. We see lower level teams from previous years beat these better teams, and it just shows that any team in this conference on any given day can come out and win. And I think that's great for us. That's great for other teams. That's great for the PBC because it keeps the level of soccer strong. And it's also great for other programs to recruit and bring in players saying, hey, we have good soccer here. Please come here. So I think it's awesome. Excellent. And it keeps the games more competitive and more fun. So,
yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, John.
Emma, with it goalless at the break, what was the conversation like getting ready for the second half, knowing that it was chippy out there, knowing what this rivalry is and knowing what this game meant? What was the conversation like specifically at the half to try to get that goal on the board?
Just stay calm. We know we have control. We can only control what we can control. And as long as we tried to find the outside wingers like myself and the right side more often. And so we just stuck with that, listened to our coaching, and we kind of we played the game. We didn't think too much about it. Like what we see is what we play. And so that was kind of what we were thinking about during halftime. And like I said, just staying calm because once we get too excited, or not too excited, but aggravated that we're not scoring, is when we make it harder for ourselves. So
you had the matchup this past weekend at Flagler in St. Augustine. Then you have to come all the way back home in the midweek for this rivalry game in the PBC. And now you've got to turn around and go to Aiken, South Carolina on the weekend. How do you and how do your teammates manage making sure that you're 100%, that you're game ready? Because we're talking a lot of games in a very short period of time that mean a great deal inside the PBC. How do you guys manage schedule compression?
Well, we have a great athletic training staff to keep our bodies in check. So we do that. And the coaches are very mindful about, I'm a senior now, so my body has logged more minutes than previous people. So they're very good at determining, okay, these girls' bodies are older, they've logged a lot of minutes. These girls can get after it during practice. They're younger. We're very good about making sure we monitor our bodies as well as monitor academics too, by moving practices around, anything to just, we like to say that we troubleshoot here. So that's one thing that helps us with a busy travel schedule, is troubleshooting when we need to.
Okay.
Just kind of walk us through the game. It was one that kind of felt like three parts in a way. Like it was very 50-50 early on, and they were almost catching you guys on the break at times. Then you started to take control, but weren't really creating the danger. And then ultimately you get the goal. Just what was the emotional roller coaster in the match like?
Well, at first, when we start the game, we kind of got used to scoring early and scoring quick. And so when that initially didn't happen, I definitely felt personally a little bit of frustration, but I'm confident in my teammates, and I'm confident that, as long as like we hold it 0-0, we're going to get one in the back of the net, because we have a really good ability to wear down those teams. And we was saying, whenever we go a certain way on the field, just because we practice in certain spots more than others, that like it's our favorite goal. And then in the second half, when we were playing towards our favorite goal, and then Emma just had a great goal, it was where we played it quick, played it up, and she was able to score. That definitely like got our emotions up, showed us that, all right, like we're in this game, we're here to win, and no one's going to stop us.
How would you describe how the season has gone so far, and what your team's strengths are?
I think the season has gone pretty good so far. Compared to last season, we've just stayed strong, and we have an ability to play against these really good teams and not let them get the better of us. And it's always a really good matchup when you have an opponent that's going to put you a little under pressure and force you to be better. I'm sorry, what was the second part of the?
Just kind of the strengths to your team.
The strengths of our team, I mean, this year we have a really deep lineup. So maybe if one person's not performing, we always have another who's going to come in and raise that level. And I think we're really fortunate to have a bunch of these really young players come in and give us that extra little like oomph that we need to get forward.
Excellent. Go ahead, John.
What's it like with those younger players to give you that extra oomph, that they're just stepping right in and taking it, they're taking it with the responsibility there. They're just jumping right into the fray, no fear, knowing what the peach belt is and what the expectations are there on campus for this program?
I know personally, when I came in as a freshman, I always felt extremely supported by my teammates and by the staff and everyone here at CSU. And so I really hope that our freshmen and our young players, when they come in, they know how supported they are. And the fact that like we're all so supportive of each other really allows us to, even when we make mistakes, to be able to bounce back and know that, all right, I'm going to get the next one. I'm going to play hard. And if I don't, like, they're still going to be here to support me.
Very cool. I'm good.
Excellent. I'll ask you one more just about the support that the coaching staff gives you guys. Just describe a little bit of the relationship between the roster and the coaching staff.
Well, I always know that if I'm ever having like a bad game, a bad few practice, I know that I'm comfortable going and talking to my coaching staff, asking specifically what I need to work on. And it always comes from a place of support where, yes, they are going to be critical of me, but I know that like it's coming from a good place and that I'm able to find that part within me that because I'm so supportive, I'm able to make those mistakes and then I'm able to move on and then build from that.
Excellent. That was great. Thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey guys.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Just tired. Long day.
Yeah, that was a stressful one today, a little bit.
Yeah, it was good though. These are the games you want to be in, and you want to put yourself in uncomfortable positions, and I'd much rather be in a tight game like this where we've got to make some decisions and we've got to try and figure things out. And credit to Ross Henderson, he's an awesome coach, and he had a great game plan today, and made us work for it. And but super proud of our ladies and super proud of Clayton. They got a good group.
I want to follow up on that with Clayton State. You've had a chance to see this conference grow and develop over the years, and it feels deeper, it feels stronger than it's been, and maybe ever. How does that make your team better?
No, 100%. I look at this conference this year and see the amount of teams that either are a one-loss team or zero-loss team and a couple ties. And it's awesome because I think in years past, maybe the South Atlantic Conference had us by a team or two where they were a lot deeper. And I think what's really cool is this year you're seeing a lot of Peach Belt teams play South Atlantic teams, and we're competing. Whereas in years past, maybe that didn't happen. So that a big credit honestly goes to the coaches in this league. And we've got some really good coaches. And I think the camaraderie and the friendships and the fellowship is awesome. I think Ross is an amazing coach at Clayton. He's only been there 2.5 years, and a really talented young coach. And he's grown his group. And I think it just takes time for some of these young coaches to bring in their players and create a culture. And I'm just happy to be in the league, to be honest.
Walk me through kind of the roller coaster of tonight, because as you mentioned, like they came in with a pretty good game plan. They at one point were out shooting you guys 4-2. And they were getting dangerous, getting in behind. Then you started to get control, but the danger wasn't really happening yet. And then eventually you find the breakthrough. Just the roller coaster of the match.
Yeah, I think oftentimes when you go into a match and you give some players some ideas, sometimes they take it a little bit too literally and they think that's the only way to play. And I think we were trying to force some passes, and I think we weren't making very good in-game decisions. I think we had a couple set pieces where they got away from us, and but in the end, we had to make some adjustments. And I felt like the second half we were much better. I don't feel like they had too many great looks at goal, and I felt like we created more, and we changed our shape in the second half and went to a 2-front late, and I think that really helped us get the goal. But a lot of credit goes to Emma Beddow. She's been really, really, really good for us this season, and super happy that she could get on the scoreboard tonight. And I think she deserved it. I thought she was one of the best players on the field, and she's been at it a long time. She works her tail off, and I'm glad that she was rewarded tonight.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how important is she overall to everything that you do?
Well, we never want to put somebody so high up on a pedestal that they're the reason that we're winning, but she certainly plays a big part. And I heard one of the players earlier talk about the depth of this team. It's been fantastic this year. Honestly, I've been here 21 years, and I'm not sure I can honestly say that we have ever had a team this deep. And I really like some of the new players that have joined us this season. I'm really enjoying, our staff has been awesome, and kids work. I mean, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., there'll be probably 7 or 8 players out on this field trying to get better with our coaching staff. And, obviously we're going to protect the players that log significant minutes, but we believe in development. We believe in growing players and making them better. And so it's all about reciprocity. And if a young lady wants to come out and work, let's go. We'll meet you here at 7:30. We'll turn the lights on, and we're going to make you better. So that's been a lot of fun.
That's excellent. Last one from me, just, as you start to look towards the end of the conference schedule, you've got the conference tournament and then hopefully more after that. What's the area of your group that you want to see take a step forward the rest of the way?
Well, I think if we continue to put ourselves in these big games and we continue to learn, that's all I can ask. And so, we'll go back and watch film, and we'll take a look at some personnel. We'll take a look at some of the decisions that we made. And we just continue to talk about getting 1% better every single day. And we talk about just, finding ways to win games. And again, today is no different. We know that our schedule is one of the toughest in the country. So we want to go be in these big games, right? We want to, in the spring, we want to play Florida State. We want to play UNC Chapel Hill. We want to play Georgia. We want to play Alabama. We don't duck anybody. And so if you look at our schedule this year, we're constantly trying to find the best teams that'll play us. And then what happens is we take those games and we've got to find solutions. And so, someone said this to me the other day, we eat problems for breakfast and then we poop out solutions for lunch.
I've never heard it that way, but I really like that.
There's another term in there, but I'll say
I'm thinking there was another word. Yeah.
But that's us, right? We're about troubleshooting and finding ways to win. And that's fun. That's the fun part.
Excellent. Go ahead, John.
So when you see the troubleshooting happen, and I know that since you can't be out there as a 12th player, when you have the discussions about, okay, we're going to have a solution, here's the solution. When you see the troubleshooting happen in real time out there on the field, when you're a coach, obviously that's part of the rewarding aspect of this. But when you see that troubleshooting happen in real time, what's that like?
It's a lot of fun. And I tell our players all the time, accept the information, but disregard the tone. So sometimes my tone might be a little sharp, but know that I've been at this a long time, and I think in the end, all I can ask for is for players to listen and do everything they can to execute. And sometimes they're not going to be able to execute. But again, today, when we realized we needed to go to a 2-front late in the game, it was pretty easy because we work on it in training. And so as soon as we went to the 2-front and we locked down the 2 center backs, that opened up a sliver of space to slip a ball into Emma, versus a lot of times, you have a center forward and the center forward's playing in between the 2 center backs. And that's really tough. It's a number 9 has got to be one of the toughest jobs in the world, because you're almost always going to be 1v2.
Mm-hmm.
And so we finally spoke as a staff. We said, I think it's time to go to the 2-front. And sure enough, it paid off for us. And we did the same thing this past weekend against Flagler. And so, maybe we could have gone to it earlier. I don't know. So, but that's the fun part, John. It's really cool to be able to solve problems, because it's so hard to duplicate that in practice, because you're really not sure it's going to happen. And so doing it in a game and seeing the reward is pretty cool.
11 freshmen, I think, on the roster, if my math is right, somewhere in that neighborhood, 11, 12. And you've got a handful of sophomores to go with that. How are those freshmen and sophomores getting acclimated to receiving information and becoming what you're looking for them to do as the season goes along, to where those freshmen aren't playing like freshmen late in conference play, getting ready for season 3, the postseason? Where do you think the advancement is in their knowledge of what you're looking for them to do?
Well, I think the more time that we can give these younger players in meaningful competition, then they're going to acclimate a lot quicker. And so for some of the freshmen that got the opportunity tonight to play against Clayton in a very tight game, it puts them in that uncomfortable position to go, hey, if you can handle this, you can handle anything. And so, the one thing that we tell every recruit, and I had a recruit on campus today, is here's the deal. Do not come to Columbus State unless you want to be coached and you're willing to be coached, because we're very information driven. We're very solution based. And so, the young ladies that don't make it here are the young ladies that think they know more than us, and they think they know more than the team. And so we always tell kids, come to Columbus State. We're going to coach you, receive the feedback, and try and apply it. And so what we really like about this young group of freshmen is they're very open-minded. They're willing to receive information and try to apply it. And I think that's been the most helpful.
Cool. Thanks, Jay.
Excellent. I'm good. Thank you so much.
Okay. My pleasure. Jack says hi from the TV station down here.
Yeah.
He goes, please say hi to the boys. So Jack's down here.
Excellent.
Yeah, Jack is part of the family. So yeah, we gave him the heads up about what's going on.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys, and good luck with the rest of the season.
All right.
Thanks. We'll be seeing you.
We'll see you soon.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.